Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to our road to Grandmaster, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. I'm back after my Christmas break. It was very nice, but also enjoying being back making videos for you guys. We are going to be first pick in this game. We're also the team captain. And yeah, this will be, as the thumbnail will no doubt have shown you, a Thrall game. You guys have been asking for me to do a Thrall game, so I will be doing that in this particular video. Now, I'm a little bit rusty because I have taken a big long break. I played a couple of games to warm up. I actually got an Alarak game and the Lost Vikings game, so pretty good warm-up games. And then I had... This is the second Hero League game I played. The first one was just another Tychus game, so I didn't bring you that, and it was also horrible. And it had the very amusing experience. It was a lovely way to welcome me back to Hero League I said two things during the whole game. I said I prefer not to play support in the draft, and then I said good job to our Abathur player when he got a solo kill. And then after the game, the Abathur player sent me a whole bunch of really toxic messages, and then instantly blocked me when I couldn't reply and say, like, I think you are flaming the wrong person here. So that was nice. Always nice to be incorrectly flamed for something. Our Lily was criticizing him. I think quite correctly, actually. But I was like, yep, Lily's right. This Abathur sucks. I didn't say it, though, but he apparently read my mind, and he sent me some horrible messages, which is very sad. But I did ban out Raynor. I'm your team ban out Sylvanas. Honestly, I think Sylvanas is a bit overrated. It's like, yeah, she does snowball the map really hard, but she is not that great until the later levels at winning the Immortal for you. I think she's honestly, she's pretty middle of the road here. Our teammates are really insistent on banning her. I think there's a lot of better bans. I think ETC, Raynor, Thrall, Rhaegar, I mean, even Fala and Samuro are pretty good. Li Ming's pretty good here. And like healers as well, Malfurion. There's a lot of really strong heroes on this particular map. I don't think Sylvanas shines. She's solid, but I don't think she is OP by any means. I wouldn't first ban her personally much. Anyway, here we go. We have we're in the second ban phase and things are looking pretty good. So I was laughing yesterday when I went onto the Heroes of the Storm subreddit and I saw, ooh la la, multiple posts of people asking for Raynor to be disabled and banned, and that the Raynor bug is just breaking the game and it's disgusting. And it made me chuckle because I remember back when I did the tier list for the Ragnaros patch in the start of Season 3, I placed Raynor as a tier S hero and got flamed horribly and lots of dislikes and downvotes and stuff. It was very upsetting. So it's somewhat gratifying to see that, was it 2 or 3 weeks later, that the rest of the world has cut up. That feels good. I hope it gave you guys who did watch the tier list, you know, a bit of an advantage for a while, knowing how good Raynor was when other people were kind of a bit behind the curve. But anyway, yeah, Raynor is OP. It's worth noting as well that Raynor's not OP purely because of the Seasoned Marksman bug. I mean, looking at the win rates for the last week, Give Me More at level 1 has 57.6% win rate, which is insane. This is master level, of course, which is insanely good. Seasoned Marksman, sure, it's 3% higher, it's 60.8%. But even without that Seasoned Marksman bug, his win rate is still incredibly high. So it's not just the bug, guys. Raynor also works really, really well in the current meta, which tends to have a lot of these big, bulky tanks that he can shred through. It tends to not have a lot of dive, which means that he's fairly safe. And then he also synergizes amazingly with so many of the other really powerful heroes right now, like ETC, Artanis, Thrall, Rhaegar, and he also works really well against them as well. So yeah, bear that in mind. Raynor is... the meta suits him super well. Anyway, to talk about Thrall a little bit, you can... Oh, actually, this is worth noting. I was actually tried to do quite a lot of like positive team leading and shot calling and stuff in this game. We have fallen behind the curve a lot because I took the break over Christmas, and I'd kind of taken a break from Hero League for a bit before that after finishing the placement games. So we are pretty far behind the curve at this stage. We're in Diamond 2. So we got a bit of a chunk to climb up before we hit, you know, Master, Grandmaster level once again. So yeah, probably gonna have some lower quality games, but I figured that this would be a good time then to shot call, that the shot calling should or ought to make probably a fairly large impact, because I mean, look, in this game we're playing with a lot of Diamond 2, Diamond 1, yeah, mostly Diamond 2, 1 Diamond 3 guy, a few Diamond 1 people, so yeah, definitely be lower standard than we would be used to. So I think that probably will translate a little bit into the game. Again, it's really hard for me to say because I was rusty in this game myself. In fact, it's somewhat of a relief playing at a slightly lower level and not just walking back into like Grandmaster and Pro Player type territory after not playing really for like a week or two. That's kind of scary because, you know, your mechanics are not up to snuff and your map awareness and stuff. We'll give it our best shot. Thrall. Let's talk about Thrall. Thrall's insanely good. Thrall is OP right now. I put Thrall as the #1 assassin in my tier list. And that was me actually not realizing just how good Earthquake was. I thought it would be strong. I didn't realize just how strong it would be. Part of this as well is that I did not realize just how strong Bloodlust Rhaegar would be either. So the reason Thrall is so strong is that he not only works really well with a lot of the super powerful heroes right now, but he also works really well against them. Let's say Raynor with Hyperion is a really good example. Earthquake and Hyperion, and just Raynor in general, right? So Raynor gets Executioner at level 16. At that stage, the game is basically won if you got a Thrall, and presumably both teams have like a relatively reasonable hero picks, because it's just so insanely strong. You know, you throw the Earthquake down the middle of the enemy team, it's this massive AoE slow, and then Raynor is just blasting them. The Hyperion goes over it, they can't get out of Hyperion. Raynor's doing all this Executioner damage, it's incredibly strong. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I mean, think of Rhaegar as well, right? This is really important too, is that Thrall is really good against and with Rhaegar. So Rhaegar, you know, Bloodlust comes down. If Thrall's on your team, you get an Earthquake down as well, and suddenly the enemy team is stuck there in the middle of basically they can't escape, right? Earthquake is down, so they're all super slowed down. Your team is super sped up and is doing a whole bunch of damage. On top of this Earthquake, they can't escape, and you get so much value out of the Bloodlust. It guarantees you get Bloodlust value. It's also really good against Bloodlust. You know, they try to get in on top of you with their Bloodlusted team, and suddenly they're walking through Earthquake. They're super slowed down, and you guys are much safer. So yeah, I mean, like, Thrall works so well with that. I mean, I think like Thrall, Raynor, Rhaegar is probably the best. I would actually say on any map right now, Thrall, Raynor, Rhaegar is probably the best like first 3 picks that you could possibly have. It's insanely good. It's so strong. Thrall is also, as you can see here, very strong in the solo lane. He's one of the best solo laners in the game. He has so much self-healing is basically how it works. His trait constantly gives you all the self-healing. And then with the level 1 talents I grabbed, you got a bit of mana sustain as well. Level 1 talents, to mention those very quickly, I think you got 2 good options, which is Block or Rolling Thunder. So Block is, you know, it's Block. You know what it does. It's really strong actually on Thrall. It helps you be a bit more protected from burst damage for being focused down early in the team fight, and that's very valuable. Rolling Thunder is also a good option, which increases the range of Chain Lightning, which is nice, especially on maps where you want to poke, like Cursed Hollow or Towers of Doom, where poking is very useful for like delaying stuff. Unfortunately, we get caught in the root here. We get hit by the Lunara slows. Diablo's on top of us as well and catches us out, so we go down. Basically, that was a guaranteed death if the enemy team played it correctly, to follow on from me getting caught in that initial Arthas route. So even from like max HP, pretty much getting caught in that one route meant that we would die. Of course, that meant that we got a very healthy Immortal because they dived us instead. This Samuro is going to die from the poison. She's probably just suicide right now. There's no healer. The healer died as well. That's unfortunate. Samuro does die. We'll be dead for this phase. But yeah, Rolling Thunder. Oh, another thing Rolling Thunder does is whenever an enemy gets hit by Chain Lightning, you'll see this little lightning-y globe thingy on them. You see that right there? And you'll notice in this game that I do try to hit minions especially, that have that on them. It gives you 10 mana back every time you do, which helps your mana sustain. You're going to have like pretty much unlimited health sustain as Thrall. Your health sustain is really good. Just trying to get in position to body block the Arthas. He actually healed himself and almost survived that. We were able to take him down. You can see the healing tick just going away right there. Need to be a little bit careful in our position that we don't get ganked and picked off. And that's a little tip, something you can do with Thrall, is you can throw your W through the minion wave. It will stop at the first hero, but it goes through all the minions. So it can really help you, it can help you like heal up and push the wave a bit faster. Obviously, ideally, you'd like hit the minion wave and then all the heroes as well. And then a hero at the end of it, so through the entire minion wave and hit a hero. It is kind of mana costly. Thrall's not very good at pushing the wave, but it can be a useful thing to do if you want some extra healing or you want to push the wave extra quick. I'm gonna tap the well here for mana. Again, like, health is not really a concern with Thrall. It's managing your mana, that's a big deal, which is what makes that level 1 talent important. Level 4, I pick up Ride the Lightning. I think it's the best talent at level 4. It makes your Chain Lightning hit 2 additional targets for 50% damage. So it will hit 5 targets instead of 3. So it's nice. It will give you a guaranteed heal. Every time you do ability damage, you will get a tick of Frostwolf Resilience. You see the counter in the bottom left. That needs 5 ticks, and on the 5th tick it will heal you. So it means that your Q, if it hits 5 targets, will be a guaranteed heal, which is useful. It makes it kind of a bit more intuitive to use on minions and stuff like that. And for pushing, it just gives you a bit more sustain, basically, is the main thing. And a little bit extra damage is nice too, but not a huge deal. Got too greedy there. Bad mechanics. Bad mechanics. Fluff it up. We couldn't have killed Arthas anyway. So, well, not only bad mechanics, but getting a bit greedy and going for more than we could pick off, or more than we could chew. One thing to note, like, this team, I think you can definitely see it's a very diamondy level game. Really. I think, you know, we took the bruiser camp way too early at the last phase, or this phase, I forget which phase it was. People are just very slow to get to the objectives. They aren't using the merc camps correctly, stuff like that. Murden's good, actually. I like the Murden a lot. But just like the team movements and stuff is pretty bad. And same for the enemy team, I would say, on overall. I'm going to try to get Lunara. Arthas just get a nice route. Murden is backing off. I'm going to run through the Immortal, which will trigger an AoE thing, which is pretty good and should enable us to escape. Unfortunately, Lunara hits us with the slow, so we're going to die. So just go in and basic attack her, hit her with a Q, but we do go down. Basically, we realized we were going to die at that stage because she's got the vision reveal, so she can continue to basic attack because she has the movement speed, and she got the slow on us. We were going to die. So we just tried our best to do what we could and pick her off. I'd say the damage we got from turning around and hitting her a couple of times did work out pretty well. Teammates seem to be doing pretty well around the map as well. But yeah, it is a little bit, it's a bit all over the place. The team picks up a kill on Rhaegar as well, and that is good. We're making our way down to this Immortal. The enemy's got almost no damage on the Immortals, and that's really nice. Their team, it was a really interesting draft. Like, I kind of like, actually, the Arthas Diablo pickups. It's pretty good against Thrall and against Samuro. You know, you get more bonus Apocalypse targets against Samuro. Arthas is really good against Thrall, actually. So yeah, I kind of like those picks, but it does mean that their immortal damage is really bad. Like, they've got Lunara, and she's okay. Li Ming is pretty good, but on the whole, like, they're pretty weak. We actually catch the Li Ming in a route intentionally. Wanted to try route her down. Arthas was going to die anyway, and just to help pick up a kill on her, she is going to escape. Vala's in a bit of a rough spot. We're going to just try to do what damage we can. Turn around on the Lunara because the other one's too far away. Completely miss our W, and Lunara is going to escape. Hit her with a Q as we run away. Murden in a little bit of trouble. Samuro does pick that off. Vala is saying OMG full stop. They're like flaming each other. I wasn't really paying attention actually, and I wasn't even paying attention now during the commentary, so I'm not fully sure what they're all raging at each other about. I don't really know. Oh well, we're gonna come and help push with the Immortal anyway. We have Heroic, so this should hopefully be pretty good. Someone gets caught and instantly pops the Blade Storm. Looking for a good opportunity to Earthquake. We don't have Vala here, so we don't really have any follow-up for the Earthquake. Vala is actually split pushing. And we're getting a massive, massive chunk of lag. A massive chunk of lag. I was kind of going, oh shit. Oh shit, that's not good. That's not good. I hadn't actually realized as well, I got distracted by the lag too, that, and another chunk of lag right there, that I hadn't realized that Vala wasn't here. I was just trying to piece things back together, completely overextend. I get flipped over and killed. So that is 100% just a massive mistake for me. So just acknowledging that to the team, letting them know, hey, sorry guys, I screwed up. At this stage, I looked at the minimap and went, oh shit, Vala wasn't even there. I am an idiot. I am really dumb. I was just positioning way too aggressively, and really there's no reason I should have been there. So that's a combination. That partially that is being rusty, partially as well that's getting to, well, one very massive lag spike and then another smaller one. And then I think Vala ought to probably have been there, but, and again, I don't think what she was doing was too bad. She picked off a fort, so I think it was probably a pretty good idea, and that really I should have realized that, and we could have walked away with a really good win. Now, I think I might have baited my teammates in here as well. I was saying, well, we should focus on the siege camps. I didn't mean go in and fight right away. So they go in, they lose the siege camp, and Samuro dies, and Muradin's almost dead as well. We throw in an earthquake just to protect them and help them run away. But yeah, I really felt like I was going to go, oh shit, I think my shot calling actually baited these guys in. Obviously, we didn't want to take that siege camp right there. The whole enemy team was there. Basically, we don't want to gate this one. But anyway, I was mainly saying, like, okay, right, guys, let's try to take this bruiser camp at an appropriate time next time and make the most out of it. Because I noticed very I kind of noticed very early on that we'd taken the first bruiser camp way too early, and it got very little value, really. You want to take the bruiser camp on this map, particularly just before the immortal spawn. So example, this is a really good opportunity. Samuro kind of respawned. It happened to be a pretty good time. You can see the enemy team has the same idea. They know what's up. I'm going to come help Samuro do this because he was a little bit late because of the respawn. So there's nothing really else for me to do. Might as well help him out, take it, and there you go. We got that pushing in, which is pretty sweet. Looking to see maybe Arthas would rotate badly, and we could catch him out of place. Need to back away from the stun right there. Try and focus down the Arthas. Samuro went super deep and dies. We try to throw down the earthquake right there. Unfortunately, we got flipped over by Diablo, who interrupted the earthquake, and we do go down. Vala, though, is maybe gonna get some revenge. Maybe no. Okay. Oh, we did kill Arthas, so it's a 2-for-1. Muradin is still alive, and nice work actually. They're focusing down Diablo, and Diablo goes down. Vala's got that Q build and landed both of them. That's really nice. So I was saying good job. I was being really positive in this game. I was being a good team leader in this particular game. I really was. I took a break after the previous game. It was the one where I had this Abathur who started flaming me for no reason. I can't remember. I recorded the intro to this twice, so I can't remember if I already told you about it. But yeah, I think he thought I was our team's Lily and he flamed me. That's a nice situation for us where the Muradin stun, the chain lightning animation bugs out slightly as Rhaegar Hearthstones. But the chain lightning, Muradin Stormbolt lands and then helps us land our W. W is a really hard skill shot to land with Thrall. It's moderately fast, but not super fast. But it also has it's also really narrow. So it's best if you can to line it up with other things, but not super essential. You can see I'm trying to make the most out of follow through here just to pump out the max DPS. That's also worth noting. Follow through at level 7, I think almost unquestionably the best one at that talent tier. Thrall hits like a truck. He has a really high basic attack damage and his slow thing. A slow attack speed, so follow through gets a lot of value. It does a lot of extra damage. I think, you know, it's been said before that Thrall is like half a hero until he gets followed through, and that's partially true, I think. Arthas goes really deep, actually popping out Sindragosa. So I'm just biding my time here for the Earthquake. Don't want to get in and pop it too early where the enemy team is obviously just going to walk away. We want to get it somewhere where they want to fight. So for example, when we bust through this gate, we still have plenty of shields on the Immortal. This is a good Earthquake opportunity. They engage really hard on top of us. We get stunned in by the Apocalypse. Okay, we pick off Atomic Kitty right there. We get some damage down on the Li Ming, and she goes down. Chain Lightning plus the Vala damage. We actually could have been going more ham than I realized. The fight was going much better than I realized. And that is 4 enemy team members dead. We only lost Samuro, and we still have very high health on this Immortal. We try to catch Rhaegar with our W. We actually aimed it very well, but he was just out of range. Not a huge deal. We're onto the core. I did in this game pick up Giant Killer at 13. By the way, we're on the core. Stay tuned for after this game as well. I'll talk about some of the other options for talents with Thrall, because I know you guys have been asking for it, and he does have some variety. Course down at 30%. We land a root in on the Arthas, just catch him out, and 0% on the core. We focus it down, we take it out. And 12-minute, 54-second game. Not bad. Can be a very quick map, this one. Probably the shortest games happen on this, so do beware of that. But I think we definitely outdrafted the enemy team. They tried some interesting stuff, but it didn't really work out. We were just we had so much more of an Immortal race, and I think that's the most important thing. If I could give you any tip for Battlefield of Eternity, it's just draft the team that wins the Immortal. Heroes that will win it, like Vala's really good. You could always grab like Tyrande as like even a solo support. She's really good. Yeah, you basically just want to win it as much as you can. I mean, pretty decent stats. There's a talent build, right? Lightning follow through, Earthquake, Giant Killer, and Tempest Fury. And nice, not too bad. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the other talents you can pick with Thrall. So like I said, level 1 Rolling Thunder is really nice for some mana sustain in the lane, just to help interrupting things where stuff is worth interrupting. In this game I had a tough time choosing actually, because yeah, neither of the level 1 talents kind of stood out to me as being exceptionally good in this case, but I went for Rolling Thunder. I think it worked fairly well. Nice sustain in the lane against Arthas, which helped us out a bit. Block is another really good option. I actually like it a lot, and I'd probably opt into Block if they do have a hard-hitting hero, someone like Raynor, or even against Rhaegar's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, if they got a couple of like strong basic attackers, I'd probably pick up Block. Zeratul, another good example. Level 4, Ride the Lightning. And Venom's not bad either. I mean, he's got a few options, right? I think the other ones are pretty weak though. But Venom is not terrible. Ride the Lightning is also good. So Ride the Lightning for just more consistent self-sustain, and Venom for more solo potential and a bit more kill potential. Both good options. Level 7, I would say pretty much follow through is probably the only reasonable option, I gotta say. Wind Shear is probably okay. The rest are pretty weak though, but I think follow through is just, I just pick up follow through and then you don't have to worry about adapting to different playstyles basically. I'd honestly say that level 4 and 7, pretty much Ride the Lightning and follow through, and then you can just play at the same talent build every game and build up experience much quicker that way at maximizing the utility of it. At level 10 we have a big balancing mistake from Blizzard. The Sundering and Earthquake. They nerfed the Sundering unnecessarily and they buffed Earthquake. And the Earthquake turned out to be really OP. Much more OP than I thought. And also synergizes really well with the meta at the moment. But 60-second cooldown, you do a big Earthquake. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if this gets nerfed like in the next patch, which I'd expect. Probably on like Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. But yeah, I would be shocked and appalled if Earthquake was not, didn't receive the nerf bat. Honestly, I'd like to see them rebuff the Sundering and nerf Earthquake. I don't know. I also feel like Thrall could do with a bit of a talent overhaul in general. But yeah, Earthquake is insane. I expect to see its cooldown increased massively. Probably like an 80-second cooldown. Wouldn't be shocked. And then maybe reduce the slow to like 60%, something like that. I'd probably still be really strong, but it'll be a little bit more reasonable. I'm not sure how much they're going to nerf it, but I expect it to be nerfed a lot. Earthquake is amazing. We didn't see it being super effective in this game, but it is really good. Again, it just wins teamfights so much. Like it's 3 pulses, so 6 seconds worth of more than that, 8 seconds, right? Yeah, so, okay, so it hits, no, okay, so it lasts for 4 seconds. So you throw down an Earthquake, it does 1 pulse. It does 3 pulses in total. So you press Earthquake, he slams the hammer down, you do a pulse. 2 seconds later, pulse number 2. 2 seconds later, pulse number 3. So you get like a total of 6 seconds of slowing, which is a 70% slow. It is absolutely huge. And at like 6 seconds, that's a massive area. So it's big area control. It really locks down a lot of heroes and enables a lot of heroes. It's such a powerful heroic. And the thing is, it's very difficult to use it incorrectly. Basically, you just want to look out for when is a big team fight going to erupt. Will they be fighting over this area? If yes, then use Earthquake. So you can see in this game, I think that was a good example in that last push through that bottom lane. We saved Earthquake. We didn't use it when we were kind of skirmishing outside the walls because the Immortal was pushing in. We knew they were going to be backing up. But then when they kind of engaged and attacked us through the gates, then I threw down the Earthquake. Excuse me. And it worked out really well because they popped their heroics at the same time. And suddenly, yes, they had their heroics going off, but Earthquake was really limiting the value they could get out of it and enabling us to turn it around. And we won that fight dramatically. I think Earthquake played a pretty big role. Level 13 and 16 then, you got some options here. Level 13, in this game I went for Giant Killer. I went for the Giant Killer Tempest Fury combo. So Giant Killer is your attacks do bonus max health damage, pretty straightforward. And then Tempest Fury is your final strike of Wind Fury, will hit 3 times for 75% normal damage. Now that will apply 3 full applications of Giant Killer. It doesn't reduce that damage at all. So it means that the final strike of Wind Fury will do an extra 4.5% of that player's max health. So very nice for melting down high health heroes. For example, in this game we had Arthas and Diablo, so that's why I went for it in this case. They were a very tanky team, right? So it worked out really well. Also worth noting, those final 3 hits of Wind Fury each give you a tick of Frostwolf, Resilience, your trait, your healing, which is nice. So that's a really good combo. Other options you can have, you can also pick up Spell Shield at level 13, which makes you tankier. And I like that a lot, especially if they've got burst damage. Like, they had a Li Ming in this game, so it wouldn't be terrible. But I figured that the Giant Killer thing would just be a bit more useful overall, seeing as they were so tanky. It was a tough choice, but I decided to go against the Spell Shield in this game, pick up Giant Killer instead. But Spell Shield's a good option, and then I think if you pick up Spell Shield, I think you don't want Tempest Fury then. I think you want either Forked Lightning or Blood for Blood at 16. So Forked Lightning at 16 gives you 2 charges of your Q, which is really nice. And then of course if you picked up Forked Lightning, you'd probably want both of the lightning talents, or certainly Ride the Lightning at level 4 from earlier in the talent tree, because you're going to get 2 charges of Q, so then your talents earlier on will get more value because you're using Q more often. It just gives you a bit more poke, more sustain, and more follow through procs. The other option is to pick up Blood for Blood, which is really good as well. So you can go for like a super tanky Thrall build, which is very strong, which is like Block at level 1, Spell Shield at 13, and Blood for Blood at 16. They're pretty boring generic talents, but they're very powerful. If you're comfortable with using those extra buttons, it can be really nice. And just using Thrall's damage, just his base damage, is really good. You're not getting a ton out of talents, to be honest, apart from follow through. Like, once you got follow through, you're golden. And then just using his self-sustain and his tankiness then with the talents to be just a kind of a good front line, and just using Earthquake, and he's pretty good. Level 20 then, I do like Earth and Shields the best. I think there is something to be said for the other ones as well. Level 20, they're all pretty good. Earth and Shields or Bolt of the Storm, both solid options. And guys, that's Thrall. He's really strong, and he's gonna be nerfed. Like, expect him to be nerfed. I think it's kind of ridiculous though. They definitely screwed up the balance with Sundering Earthquake. At the moment, Sundering at Master level, 46% win rate. It's really bad. Earthquake, 61.5% win rate. They really messed that up a little bit, so I expect them to fix that in the next patch, hopefully. Yeah, Thrall, he has been a very good hero for a very long time. He's a solo laner. He's a solo laner, so he's very, very strong on a lot of maps. He's a second front line, which is great. And yeah, he brings some nice damage. He brings poke, interrupts, Earthquake, and Sundering are both. Once Sundering gets buffed back up again, hopefully, they're both very powerful team fighting tools. And yeah, he's a great hero. Hopefully you found that helpful. Give a thumbs up if you did, and I'll be back next time for more Heroes of the Storm. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.